Want to speak real Arabic from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ArabicPod101.com.
Hi everyone, I am Pirhan and this is Arabic Top Words. Today we're going to learn 10 ways to remember words. Let's get started. التكرار repetition. التكرار repetition. التكرار بيساعدني أفتكر كلمات جديدة. Repetition helps me remember new words. In Arabic we say التكرار بيعلم الشطار, which means repetition is a good student's way of learning. الفرجة على مسلسلات مترجمة. Watching TV series with subtitles. الفرجة على مسلسلات مترجمة. Watching TV series with subtitles. الفرجة على مسلسلات مترجمة بيثبت الكلمات في مخي. Watching TV series with subtitles helps keeping the words on my mind. التدريب بالكتابة. To practice by writing. التدريب بالكتابة, which means to practice by writing. For example, بحب أتدرب على الكلمات الجديدة بالكتابة. I like to practice new words by writing. القراية بصوت عالي. Reading out loud. القراية بصوت عالي. Reading out loud. قراية الكلمات بصوت عالي بيساعدني أفتكرها. Reading the words out loud helps me remember them. تأليف قصص. Making up stories. تأليف القصص. This one is my favorite method. It means to make up stories. For example, you can say تأليف القصص باستخدام كلمات جديدة بيساعدني أفتكرها. Making up stories with the new words helps me remember them. عمل رسومات توضيحية. Drawing reminding illustrations. عمل رسومات توضيحية. Making reminding illustrations. بعمل رسومات توضيحية تفكرني. I draw reminding illustrations to remind me. الربط ما بين الكلمات. Creating associations between words. الربط ما بين الكلمات. Creating associations between words. بحاول أربط بين الكلمات عشان أفتكرها. I try to create associations between words in order to remember them. الحفظ عن طريق السمع. To memorize by listening. الحفظ عن طريق السمع. To memorize by listening. بحاول أسمع كلمات عربي كتير عشان أفتكر الكلمات. I try to listen to Arabic words a lot to memorize words. سماع أغاني كلماتها مكتوبة. Listening to songs with lyrics. سماع أغاني كلماتها مكتوبة. Listening to songs with lyrics. This is one of my favorite. It's probably number one favorite method of learning a language, and then number two is making up stories. بحب أسمع أغاني وأنا ببص على كلماتها مكتوبة. I like listening to music while reading the lyrics. استخدام الكلمات الجديدة في جمل. Using words in sentences. استخدام كلمات جديدة في جمل. Using new words in sentences. For example, you can say بحاول أستخدم الكلمات الجديدة في جمل. I try to use new words in sentences. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Why don't you tell us below about your favorite method of learning a language? Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit our website ArabicPod101.com.
Hi everybody, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I will answer some of your most common Arabic questions. In the previous lesson, we talked about English sounds that don't exist in Arabic. So in this lesson, we're going to answer the question, how many Arabic sounds don't exist in English? When people listen to Arabic, they may fall under the illusion that Arabic has so many sounds that don't exist in English, and that it's going to be extremely difficult to speak it. But like I said, it's only an illusion. In fact, out of the 28 sounds that exist in modern standard Arabic, only 10 sounds don't exist in English. Moreover, a lot of these sounds aren't even used in spoken dialects and are reduced to sounds closer to their English counterparts. Let's take a look at the letters that are like an exaggerated version of sounds that already exist in English. Dod, which sounds like an exaggerated D sound like the D in double, like the word daman, daman, meaning warranty. Sad, which sounds like an exaggerated S sound like the S in salt, like the word sabr, meaning patience. Next we have ta, which sounds like an exaggerated T sound like the T in tom, like the word matar, meaning rain. Dha, which sounds like an exaggerated the sound like the sound in brother, like the word dhalam, meaning darkness. Ha, which sounds like an exaggerated H sound like the H sound in how, like the word hulm, meaning dream. A, commonly known as hamza, which is basically a glottal stop, like the sound in uh-oh, like the word ana, meaning I. As you can see, these 5 are more familiar to you than you think. Now let's take a look at the 4 sounds that might not be as familiar. With these, you might need some listening and speaking practice to get used to them. Qaf, like the word qala, meaning he said. Kha, like the word khal, meaning vinegar. Ain, like the word Amman, which means Amman, the capital of Jordan. Ghain, like the word ghasala, meaning he washed. Take a look at our Ultimate Arabic Pronunciation Guide series for more information. These sounds don't exist in English, but some of them exist in other languages, perhaps in your language. So tell us in the comment section. Also, if you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Hi guys, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, what types of loanwords are there in Egyptian Arabic? I'd like to introduce you to my native dialect, which happens to be one of the most widely understood dialects of Arabic, Egyptian Arabic. Egyptian Arabic is the result of Egypt's diverse history. After all, Egypt is not only the land of the pharaohs. Egypt was part of many empires, like the Roman Empire and the Ottoman Empire, then was a French colony, then an English colony. There is no way a country can have such a history without being influenced by all of these different cultures and languages. First, here are some words that are used in Egypt on a daily basis that have English, French, Latin, or Italian origins. Décor, décor. Régime, diet. Mobilia, furniture. Model, model, usually used for cars. Dynamo, dynamo. Motor, motor. Taxi, taxi. Radio, radio. Television, television. Telephone, telephone. Balcona, balcony. Coiffeur, hairdresser. Buffet, buffet. Doctor, doctor or professor. Egyptian Arabic also borrowed a lot of words from Turkish. Let's take a look at some Turkish loanwords in Egyptian Arabic. Oda, room, dolab, closet, shanta, bag, gazma, shoes, kobri, bridge, efendim, sir, baltagi, thug. These loanwords came into Egyptian Arabic a long time ago, meaning that both young people and old people use these words. Most people don't even know that they're originally non-Arabic words. So next time you meet an Egyptian, tell them how much they have borrowed from your language. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam.
You've decided to study a new language. So now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1. Create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2. Make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3. Find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4. Use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go. Number 5. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now.
Hi everyone, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, how do I sound polite in Arabic? Many languages have honorific speech as a whole different level of speech. Arabic honorifics are much easier than that. Much like English, Modern Standard Arabic, and almost all Arabic dialects have certain words and titles that you can add to sentences to make your speech sound more polite. First, let's start with honorific terms and see what they look like in action. The first one is min fadlik. Min fadlik, meaning please. Min fadlik is usually used with requests and orders. Adding min fadlik to any request will make you sound more polite and people will take you more seriously. For instance, al-hisab min fadlik. Al-hisab min fadlik. The check, please. The next honorific term is لو سمحت. لو سمحت, literally meaning if you may allow. This one means pardon me or excuse me. It's a little like min fadlik, but is more often used with questions. Adding it to any question you ask will make you sound more polite. For example, لو سمحت أين المدخل? لو سمحت أين المدخل? Excuse me, where is the entrance? The next honorific term is حضرتك. حضرتك, or in the Egyptian dialect حضرتك, is the polite alternative of you. Replace you with حضرتك or حضرتك in a sentence and you will immediately sound more polite. For example, أين أنت is the casual way to say where are you. In the polite version, this becomes أين حضرتك? أين حضرتك? Which also means where are you, but more polite. Next, we have أستاذ and أستاذة, which mean Mr. and Miss. Use أستاذ for masculine and أستاذة for feminine before people's names to sound more polite. These are typically used for teachers and to address people in a business setting. For example, Sami, which is a man's name, should become أستاذ Sami, meaning Mr. Sami. Hiba, which is a woman's name, should become أستاذة Hiba, meaning Miss Hiba. Lastly, we have تفضل. تفضل is the polite way of saying come over here or come in or go ahead. It's a very useful word and is used in many contexts, as you can tell from its many different meanings. You might use it to invite someone in, invite them to start eating, and many other things. Keep in mind that it changes slightly according to the gender. For example, the casual singular masculine form of this word is ادخل or تعال. It means go ahead or come in. The polite singular masculine is تفضل. The casual singular feminine is ادخلي or تعالي. And the polite singular feminine is تفضلي. تفضلي. I hope you like our lesson. If you have any more questions about the polite form, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I will see you in the next episode. Salam. Hi everyone, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, how do I sound polite in Arabic? Many languages have honorific speech as a whole different level of speech. Arabic honorifics are much easier than that. Much like English, Modern Standard Arabic, and almost all Arabic dialects have certain words and titles that you can add to sentences to make your speech sound more polite. First, let's start with honorific terms and see what they look like in action. The first one is min fadlik. Min fadlik, meaning please. Min fadlik is usually used with requests and orders. Adding min fadlik to any request will make you sound more polite and people will take you more seriously. For instance, الحساب من فضلك. الحساب من فضلك. The check, please. The next honorific term is لو سمحت. لو سمحت, literally meaning if you may allow. This one means pardon me or excuse me. It's a little like min fadlik, but is more often used with questions. Adding it to any question you ask will make you sound more polite. For example, لو سمحت أين المدخل? لو سمحت أين المدخل? Excuse me, where is the entrance? The next honorific term is حضرتك. حضرتك, or in the Egyptian dialect حضرتك, is the polite alternative of you. Replace you with حضرتك or حضرتك in a sentence and you will immediately sound more polite. For example, أين أنت is the casual way to say where are you. In the polite version, this becomes أين حضرتك. أين حضرتك, which also means where are you, but more polite. Next, we have أستاذ and أستاذة, which mean Mr. and Miss. Use أستاذ for masculine and أستاذة for feminine before people's names to sound more polite. These are typically used for teachers and to address people in a business setting. For example, Sami, which is a man's name, should become أستاذ Sami, meaning Mr. Sami. Hiba, which is a woman's name, should become أستاذة Hiba, meaning Miss Hiba. Lastly, we have تفضل. تفضل is the polite way of saying come over here or come in or go ahead. It's a very useful word and is used in many contexts, as you can tell from its many different meanings. You might use it to invite someone in, invite them to start eating, and many other things. Keep in mind that it changes slightly according to the gender. For example, the casual singular masculine form of this word is ادخل or تعال. It means go ahead or come in. The polite singular masculine is تفضل. The casual singular feminine is ادخلي or تعالي. And the polite singular feminine is تفضلي. تفضلي. I hope you like our lesson. If you have any more questions about the polite form, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I will see you in the next episode. Salam. Hi everyone, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, what do common computer and social media words look like in Arabic? Have you ever seen Facebook in Modern Standard Arabic? Have you wondered what terms and expressions are used in Arabic computers? Let's take a look at some of the most common ones. First, let's see common words used for computers in general. ابدأ. Start. This is the Windows Start menu. لوحة التحكم. Control panel, in case you want to change some settings like language, for instance. ملف. File. مجلد. Folder. مستند. Document. My documents, for example, is called المستندات, which is the plural form of مستند. حفظ. Save. To save a file. نسخ. Copy. لصق. Paste. حذف. Delete, which literally means to throw away.
Now let's see some expressions related to the internet.
تحميل. Download. And the opposite is رفع. Upload. تثبيت. Install. To install an app or a program. موقع. Website. It literally means site, and it's the short version of the expression موقع إلكتروني, literally meaning electronic site. صفحة. Web page. Literally means page. بريد إلكتروني. Email. Literally electronic mail. You might also see email written in Arabic letters sometimes. فتح. Open. To open a tab in a browser. غلق. Close. To close a tab in a browser. تراجع. Undo. To undo an action. فيروس. Virus. Beware of this one.
Now let's see some expressions commonly used on social media.
حساب. Account. Referring to a Facebook or Instagram account, for example. افتح حساب. Open an account, which is the expression as a whole. تسجيل دخول. Sign in, which is the action of signing in. اسم المستخدم. Username, literally meaning username. Many expressions were literally translated from English, as you can see. كلمة السر. Password, literally secret word. It is secret, right? مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. Social media website. Social media alone is التواصل الاجتماعي, which is a very, very hot topic these days. أعجبني. Like. This is the like button on Modern Standard Arabic Facebook, literally meaning I liked it. تعليق. Comment. Meaning a comment on a post or a status update on Facebook or in a video on YouTube, for example. تحديث حالة. Status update. Meaning status update used on Facebook mainly. Now, whenever you see a computer and it's set up in Arabic, you'll be able to recognize the most basic functions. I hope you like our lesson. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam! Hi everyone, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll be answering some of your most common Arabic questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some common expressions used in street signs in the Arab world? How cool is it that instructional signs are almost identical in just about every Arabic-speaking country? No matter what dialect the country speaks, instructional signs are always in Modern Standard Arabic. Let's take a look at the most common instructional signs. First, we have signs that you'll typically see in a parking lot. خروج, exit. دخول, entrance. garage, or موقف, parking. Next, we have signs you will typically see on the road. قف, stop. اتجاه إجباري, must turn left or right. إلزم اليمين, keep right. إلزم اليسار, keep left. الأولوية لك, you have priority. هدئ السرعة, slow down. انتبه, watch out or attention. The last two signs, هدئ السرعة and انتبه, are usually seen before sudden bumps, construction work, and dangerous curves. كيلومتر, kilometers. متر, meters. These two are the shortened versions of kilometr and metr respectively, just like km for kilometer and m for meter in English. They're usually shortened to fit on street signs. They're used in many signs like the ones that tell you where you are on the highway. For example, if you're 200 kilometers away from Alexandria on the Cairo to Alexandria highway, somewhere on the way you will see a sign that says 200 kilometr, 200 kilometers. طن, tons. This one is mainly for truck weight allowances. The number you will see next to ton is the maximum weight allowance on this road in ton. Lastly, we have two of the main reasons why people get tickets on the streets of Egypt. ممنوع الدخول, no entry, commonly used for one-way streets. ممنوع الانتظار, no parking, commonly found in front of exits, entrances, and around important buildings. Driving in the Middle East might feel intimidating at first, but as long as you follow the rules and stay attentive to your surroundings, you'll be okay. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Hi guys, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, do you have any recommendations for Arabic media to watch or to listen to? One of the best ways to learn a language and have fun at the same time is to watch or listen to media presented in that language as a part of your study routine. That way you will hear how it sounds in a natural setting, and with time it won't feel that foreign anymore. First, you have to choose the dialect you want your media to be in. In this lesson, I will give you some recommendations for shows and media to watch or listen to make your Arabic learning experience more engaging than ever. First, let's see media for Modern Standard Arabic. As you know, Modern Standard Arabic is mainly used in the news. That's why most of the Modern Standard Arabic available online is news channels, websites, or radio streams. For that, I recommend BBC Arabic. You can read news on their website, watch the live stream, or listen to BBC Arabic radio on the go. Next, let's take a look at Egyptian Arabic media. This one is probably the most available online in the form of TV shows, movies, variety shows, and music. That's why there's so much to choose from. So here, I would like to recommend some shows that have become really popular in the past couple of years. Nelly Shirihan, Nelly and Shirihan. Nelly Shirihan is a comedy TV show about two cousins, a rich one and a poor one, who reunite in order to find the inheritance their grandfather left them. It is a light comedy show that's sure to make you laugh. Grand Hotel, Grand Hotel. Grand Hotel is the Egyptian version of the Spanish drama by the same name. It tells a story about a young man who goes to Aswan to investigate his sister's sudden disappearance and works as a waiter at the same hotel his sister worked at, and then falls in love with the owner's daughter. Together, they try to solve this mystery. It has elements of suspense and romance. عايزة أتجوز. I want to get married. This is another TV show that's become extremely popular. Originally a book by the writer Ghada Abdelal, it tells the story of a lady in her late 20s trying to find a good man and get married. She meets a different man each episode and hilarity ensues. عسل أسود. Molasses. This movie tells the story of a man who returns to Egypt after living most of his life in the United States. It's a comedy that shows the expectations versus the reality of living in Egypt. It's a good way to see how Egypt looks like from a foreigner's perspective, and it's also hilarious. Most of the shows I mentioned are available for legal streaming on YouTube. Next is Levantine Arabic media. Syrian Levantine Arabic is a popular variety of Arabic dialects. It's become even more popular in the past 10 years because Turkish TV shows became very popular in the Arab world and they are dubbed in Syrian Arabic. Some of the most popular Syrian dubbed Turkish series are أسميتها فريحة. I named her Fariha. A story of a young poor girl who goes to college on a scholarship and falls in love with a rich guy but hides the fact that she is very poor from everyone. العشق الممنوع. Forbidden love. This is a story of a young man who slowly falls in love with his uncle's wife. The good thing about Syrian dubbed Turkish drama is that they are very long. An episode is typically 2 hours long, and the series usually lasts for more than 60 episodes, so you'll need more than a lifetime to watch all of them. You can play them while you're working or commuting, and you'll start picking up words in no time. Now for Syrian shows. نص يوم. Half a day. A young man goes back to Syria to take care of his late father's business, where he falls in love with a young lady that turns out not to be the woman he was hoping for. Al-Arab, The Godfather. This is a Syrian version of The Godfather. There are obviously a lot of differences, but the story goes along the same lines. Another source of media you should check is Lebanese music. I definitely recommend listening to the Lebanese singer Nancy Ajram because she's absolutely adorable and popular. Also, the translated lyrics for her songs can be found very easily. So that's it for our series. I hope you liked our lessons. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. And be sure to check out more on ArabicPod101.com and keep practicing Arabic. And thank you for watching. Salam. Hi everyone, my name is Noura and this is Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, what is the structure of modern standard Arabic sentences? In this lesson, we're going to give you an overview of how sentences are structured in modern standard Arabic. Language structure is usually described by the order of 3 main elements in a basic sentence: verb, subject, and object. For instance, English is an SVO language, meaning that the subject comes first, then the verb, and lastly the object. You can see this in any sentence, like, John plays tennis. For Modern Standard Arabic, this looks a bit different. Modern Standard Arabic has 2 possible sentence structures, namely verbal sentences and nominal sentences. First, let's take a look at verbal sentences. As you can tell from its name, verbal sentences start with a verb. Then we have the subject, and lastly, the object. The following sentence is a VSO sentence. شرب رامي العصير. Rami drank the juice. Next, we have the nominal sentence, which starts with the subject, then the verb, and lastly, the object. This one has an SVO structure, just like English. Rami شرب العصير. Rami drank the juice. Note that in Modern Standard Arabic, when there is a verb in the sentence, verbal sentences are preferred. This will look different for sentences with the verb to be in English, because there is no verb to be in Arabic. Observe the following sentence. Rami is tall. Because there is no verb to be in Arabic, this is going to be a nominal sentence consisting of only a subject and an adjective. This is how the sentence is going to look like. Rami طويل. Rami is tall. Now let's see the second point in sentence structure, which is the noun-adjective order. Let's observe the following phrase. Big house. In English, the adjective big comes first, followed by the noun, house. In Arabic, this is the other way around. Observe the following phrase. Baytun kabir. Big house. Here we have the noun first, baytun, meaning house. Then we have the adjective, kabir, meaning big. The last point we'll touch on is where prepositions are located in a sentence. In this aspect, Arabic is quite similar to English. Observe the following sentence. Rami is in the house. In English, prepositions precede nouns. The same applies to Arabic. Rami في البيت. Rami is in the house. Note how there is no verb to be in the Arabic sentence because it is implied from the context. I hope you liked this lesson. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam. Hi everybody, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com, and welcome to our new series, Ask an Arabic Teacher. In this series, I'm going to be answering some of your most common Arabic questions. The question for this lesson is, which dialect of Arabic should I learn or focus on? The variant of Arabic you should learn depends on your goals and what you want to achieve using your knowledge of Arabic. If you want to learn Arabic to become a professional translator, work in politics, read newspapers, or write reports for work, then you should definitely focus on Modern Standard Arabic. On the other hand, if you want to be able to communicate with Arabic-speaking people, you have to learn a popular dialect that's widely understood, like Egyptian Arabic or Levantine Arabic. As Nelson Mandela once said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. And let's get the facts straight. Nobody speaks Modern Standard Arabic in their daily conversations, not one person in the whole entire world. To understand the difference in usage between Modern Standard Arabic and dialects, you need to know what Modern Standard Arabic and dialects mean to Arabic-speaking people. Babies learn the dialect of their country or region first to communicate with their parents. Then, when they go to school, they start learning how to read and write Modern Standard Arabic, because this is what they will use to read textbooks, take exams, read books and newspapers. They will learn it from kindergarten up to the end of high school. But depending on their major, they might take more Modern Standard Arabic courses throughout their college years. For example, if their major is translation or journalism, they will continue taking classes because that's what the news, the formal and legal papers is written in. Other than that, social media, speaking with professors, co-workers, teachers, friends, and family is all in dialect. That's why the average Arabic-speaking person might make a lot of mistakes when trying to use Modern Standard Arabic. Even Arabic speakers need a lot of proofreading when they're writing a very important document. What about choosing between dialects then? Variants of Arabic dialects sound pretty different from each other. They're almost like a different language. Choosing the dialect to study, of course, has to do with the region of the Arabic-speaking world you're interested in, but you should keep another factor in mind. Some dialects are easier to learn and pronounce depending on your native language. For instance, I noticed that Levantine dialects are easier to learn than Egyptian dialect if your native language is Japanese. That's because of similarities in rhythm and phonemes. So listening to different dialects is a good way to get a feel of how they sound before you make up your mind. Keep in mind, though, that the most widely understood Arabic dialects are Egyptian Arabic and Levantine Arabic because of how popular their media is in the Arabic-speaking countries. I hope you liked our lesson. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam! Hi everybody, this is Nora. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll be answering some of your most common Arabic questions. The question for this lesson is, how different is Modern Standard Arabic from Arabic dialects? And how different are dialects from each other? Greetings are one of the things we learn first when we learn a new language. But how different are greetings, for example, from Modern Standard Arabic to other Arabic dialects? and from one Arabic dialect to another. Let's see some examples of the difference in some greetings. Hello, how are you? مرحبا, كيف حالك? Hi, ازيك? مرحبا, كيفك? Good. بخير. كويس. منيح. Now let's see an example of a sentence like what's your name in Modern Standard Arabic and in different dialects. What's your name? ما اسمك? اسمك ايه? شو اسمك? Here's another example. How old are you? كم عمرك? عندك كام سنة؟ قديش عمرك? To change a noun from indefinite to definite, you add an article that is basically like the in English. There's a difference in the pronunciation in different Arabic dialects. Let's see the word the love as an example. الحب, الحب, الحب. Notice the difference between el and il. These are basic examples of differences between Modern Standard Arabic and two different Arabic dialects. Did you know that on our website, ArabicPod101.com, you can learn Modern Standard Arabic, Egyptian Arabic, and Moroccan Arabic? Check out our website for more information. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam! Hi everyone, welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll be answering some of your most common Arabic questions. The question for this lesson is, where is Arabic and its varieties spoken? There are many different definitions of the Middle East. Some say from Morocco to Iran, some exclude Iran and Turkey, some exclude Morocco, and some even exclude North Africa. I guess the borders of the Middle East are vague, and not everyone agrees on them. That's why in our lessons we like to use the term Arabic-speaking countries or Arab world instead. That's because we're concerned with Arabic as a language and with its varieties. In this lesson, we will learn together where exactly these variants of Arabic are spoken. Let's start from left to right, from Africa to Asia. First, we have the Maghreb region, which includes Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. Again, not everyone agrees on the definition of the Maghreb region, so opinions may vary slightly. Arabic spoken in the Arab Maghreb region is characterized by infusing a lot of French vocabulary and grammar with Arabic and Berber languages. Many other languages are spoken as first languages in this region, like Tamazight varieties and French. Next, we have Egypt and Sudan, where the dialect widely known as Egyptian Arabic is spoken. It's a dialect of Arabic with a lot of ancient Egyptian, Latin, Turkish, French, and English influence. It's a popular dialect in the Arab world due to the popularity of Egyptian music and shows. Other languages are also spoken in this region, like Nubian in northern Sudan and southern Egypt. Arabic variants are also spoken in other African countries like Djibouti, Somalia, Eritrea, Tanzania, Chad, and Comoros. Next, let's move on to Asia. Let's take a look at the Levantine region. This includes Palestine, Israel, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. Keep in mind that not all Levantine dialects are the same though. The Gaza Strip region, for example, has some Egyptian influence. Lebanese Arabic has lots of French loanwords. Syrian Arabic has many Turkish loanwords, and so on. However, for the most part, they're mutually intelligible. Next, we have the Gulf region dialects, which are spoken in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, and Yemen. The dialects of this region and the Levantine region are considered the closest to Modern Standard Arabic. There are still quite a few differences though. Dialects vary widely in this region, with lots of sub-dialects depending on the city or the region. I remember listening to a friend from Sana'a talk to his friend on the phone, and I understood absolutely nothing from that 2-minute conversation. Luckily, my friends from Sana'a talked to me in Egyptian Arabic so that we can understand each other. Lastly, we have Iraq, in the far east end of the Arab world. Here, Iraqi Arabic, commonly known as Baghdad Arabic, is spoken. This dialect has Turkish, Persian, Kurdish, and Aramaic influences. The interesting thing about the Arab world is the diaglossia, meaning that people use different languages depending on the situation. As a result of this diaglossia, the news of most of these countries is in Modern Standard Arabic. But if you walk in the streets or make friends in any of these countries, you won't hear anybody speaking modern standard Arabic. Instead, they use their own dialects. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below and I will see you in the next episode. Hi everyone, my name is Nora and this is Ask an Arabic Teacher. The question for this lesson is, what do questions look like in modern standard Arabic? There are two types of questions in English, commonly known as yes or no questions and WH questions. The same applies to Arabic. Let's see what Arabic questions look like. First, let's look at yes or no questions. These are questions that ask whether or not something is true. In modern standard Arabic, we use the question word هل to ask yes or no questions. This structure is very easy. You add the word هل before the sentence that you want to ask about. That's it. For example, أكل رامي الكعك. Rami ate the cake. If we want to ask whether Rami ate the cake, what do you think we'll say? You're absolutely right. هل أكل رامي الكعك? Did Rami eat the cake? Pretty simple, right? Especially in comparison with English, where you have a different structure for questions. Now let's see how WH questions look like in modern standard Arabic. First, let's see a list of our question words. من, who. ماذا, what. متى, when. أين, where. كيف, how. Now let's see what they look like in a sentence. Let's ask these 5 questions about this event. Rami ate the cake in the house in the morning with the spoon. أكل رامي الكعك في البيت في الصباح بالملعقة. Now let's try to ask all the possible questions about this statement. من أكل الكعك? Who ate the cake? ماذا أكل رامي? What did Rami eat? متى أكل رامي الكعك? When did Rami eat the cake? أين أكل رامي الكعك? Where did Rami eat the cake? كيف أكل رامي الكعك? How did Rami eat the cake? As you can see in modern standard Arabic, question words must come at the beginning of a sentence. Then comes the verb أكل, then comes the subject Rami, unless that's the information in question, as in the question who ate the cake. Finally, we have the object al-ka'k, again, unless that's the information we're asking about, as in the question what did Rami eat? So the order is verb, subject, object. I hope you like our lesson. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below and I will see you in the next episode. Hi guys, this is Nora from ArabicPod101.com. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I will answer some of your most common Arabic questions. So I get asked this question a lot because this is one of those things that are specific to Semitic languages. And the question is, how are Arabic words created or formed? Derivation is the core of 99% of Arabic words. All words of Arabic origin come from a 3 or 4 letter base words called roots. In this lesson, we will learn how derivation works in Arabic. Arabic is a fusional language, meaning that changes can happen in the body of the word itself to create other words of related meanings. In other words, letters are inserted not just as prefixes or suffixes to the root, but also in between the root letters to form new words. Let's take a look at one of the most basic verbs in Arabic. The root is كتب. كتب. The root just on its own is the singular past tense form of the verb. This is also the form we use to look a word up in a classical Arabic to Arabic dictionary. Let's see how we can form a huge number of words out of this root. كتب. He wrote, which is the root. كاتب, a writer. كتاب, a book. كتابة, writing. مكتب, a desk. كتيب, a pamphlet. مكتبة, a library. اكتتاب, contribution of funds. Now let's see the variations of the verb to cook. طبخ, he cooked, which is the root. طبخة, a meal. مطبخ, a kitchen. طباخ, a chef. طبخ, cooking. مطبوخ, cooked. As you can see, letters are often inserted in between the root letters, not just as prefixes or suffixes, to form new words. This makes it a bit different from English, where we usually add an ing or er to create new words. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next episode. Salam.
Of the year, today 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 of the year.